Buonasera a tutti. Today we are going to learn how to make Pici pasta. Pici is the specialty of our region in Montefelonico in Tuscany. And what it is like a fat spaghetti. You're going to see because we're going to roll it out and then you'll be a witness. What I also want to say about Pici is that it is one of the very first recipes we learned how to make at Tuscan Women Cook. Our guests learned how to roll Pici, and then we were shown how to make different sauces, and Pici is a really fun, easy recipe. So for this recipe, this is kind of our food processor recipe, but I'm doing it by hand. So you can do it by hand, like old school, or if you have a food processor, by all means you can use that. So you want 3 eggs. If you're going to put them in the food processor, beat the eggs first, but if we're just doing it by hand, we're just going to pour the eggs in, and we are going to, so this is only eggs and flour. We're going to fork this together, fork it already, very close to one of my favorite words, and we're gonna mix, 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 and then eventually, I'll be using my hands, but not yet, because there still needs to be quite a bit of flour getting folded in here. So you can see I'm kind of just working the flour into I'm working the eggs into the flour. Working the flour into the eggs. Whatever's your pleasure. So the only thing that's important is don't break the wall. You don't want your walls coming down. God forbid. So it's starting to thicken up, so what I'm going to do is convert to just using my hands in a moment here. And eventually this is going to turn into a ball of pasta dough. We're going to let it sit once it's dough. We're going to let it sit and just let the gluten build a little bit. It'll be, we'll let it sit for 30 minutes or maybe an hour, although you actually don't have to let it sit at all. And then eventually, we're going to take that dough ball and show you how to roll fresh strands of Pici. I happen to have a couple of sauces in the fridge, so I'm going to show you how under these quarantine rules you can kind of use whatever you have in your refrigerator. Pasta with almost any sauce. Okay. I have been rolling and rolling and sweating and rolling, and now my dough looks like dough. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil over the top of it and just let it sit under a towel for maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then we're gonna roll out some Pici. So, okay, my dough has been resting. I just threw the covers off of her. Now we're going to roll some Pici. So you just wanna, there's a couple different ways you can do it, but this is the way I'm doing it. You're just gonna take off a little piece of the dough and then keep her under the blankie because you don't want her to dry out. And then you just take your hands, balls of your hands really, and roll and pull, kind of a roll and pull thing. Okay, my pasta water's boiling. My Pici's been rolled out. Some is a little thicker than I would like, but I ran out of patience, which happens. So this Pici only needs to go in for literally like 4 minutes, 3 minutes. It's all gonna rise to the top when it's ready. I've heavily salted the water, and I took my sun-dried tomato basil pesto that I made a bit ago, and I'm thinning it down with water so that it is more of a sauce consistency. It's my basil pesto, sun-dried tomato pesto is going to heat up. So this is like a total quarantine recipe, right? We already made the sun-dried tomato basil pesto to use as a dip on our crackers, which we already made. And now we've handmade some pasta, and we're gonna use this same pesto to go on top of the pasta. We'll sprinkle a little cheese on top, and it'll be a big buon appetito situation. Homemade pici. Just putting my sun-dried tomato pesto on top. I'm gonna stir it in. I'm gonna add a little cheese, and then we're gonna be ready to serve. So, as I showed you earlier, my pici turned out a little tiny bit thicker than I might have liked, but not every piece. Some pieces are really good looking. So I'm gonna plate it up because this isn't as pretty as one might hope. But that doesn't mean it's not delicious. Okay, I'm plating up this bad boy. It looks a little scary. Okay, no, I'm telling you, who cares how it looks? You should taste this. First of all, you should smell it. Too bad I don't have smell-o-vision. And I'm gonna take that little piece of, and then I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna say, buon appetito.